The Relentless series, taken by the SCULPTED podcast.
He never dunked on you. He never put you on the highlight.
What a performance. What an exit for number 24.
Helping you unleash relentless greatness from within.
Do us a quick favor, guys. Hit the follow, subscribe button. Share this with someone who would benefit from it. And help us grow, as the more we grow, the better the episodes will get. Thanks, guys, for helping us. And let's get into the episode. Welcome back to this episode of the SCULPTED podcast. Today, we are going through the last chapter of the Relentless book. Now, it's taken us a year to get through this, probably. So it's been kind of crazy. But let's go over it. It's been a long series because I've got on more guests than I probably imagined that I could have got on, especially as we grew the podcast. That then, put a few roadblocks in the way. But we're here. Last chapter of the Relentless book. As I said, I love this book. I try and read it as much as possible. It's probably slowed down in the later months because I've been reading this and preserving it for this series. But regardless, this will probably be one of the last times that I go through this for a while. I'm going to slow down with reading this book because I've kind of got my own philosophy now. Not that it's not dissimilar, but I think I just have different things where I use different sections of this book rather than all of it. So to save my time and to be more efficient with my time, I'll take the best things out of this, as I have for the past few years, but now make it my own. So last chapter is you don't celebrate your achievements because you always want more. A cooler is first to arrive at the celebration and last to leave. A closer will make an appearance, then go out with his crew. A cleaner just wants to get back to work. Now, I'd say that's 100% me. That's definitely me. I always want to get back to work, if I'm being honest. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'd say that my emotions stay pretty regulated. I don't really get too high, don't really get too low. I think that's how it should be. If you want success, at least. Now. Alright, done. Next, a cleaner's favorite words. A cleaner's life is simple. Work, work, work. Got a few notes. Okay. Let everyone else celebrate. You're still not satisfied. If you won in 6, you're disappointed. You didn't win in 5. If you bet 195, why not 200? If you made a deal for $1 million, you keep wondering if you could have done it for 1.2 million. Now, I think take that with a grain of salt, because yes, that insatiety is definitely there, although don't think about it like that. Just know that you could have done better and don't dwell on it. Don't think that, I got 195, why didn't I get 200? And think about that for the rest of the day. Just think, okay, we go again. That's that level of dissociation that you should have. You shouldn't be dwelling on it. There is no real way of explaining that without making it sound like you are dwelling on it, which is a little bit complicated, but you shouldn't dwell on it. Move on. Simple as moving on. It's a brief, private moment. No one could possibly understand what you went through to get to that point. That others can celebrate because you made it all possible. They might not even realize that, but you do. Okay, you didn't do any of it for the celebration. You didn't do it for anyone else. You did it for that exquisite moment, that electrifying, powerful surge of satisfaction that everyone dreams about, but few ever get to experience. It's true. It's actually really, really difficult to get to such an extreme level of accomplishment. Barely any people get there, and it's so difficult to actually do so. If you want to find the cleaner at a victory party, look for the guy standing off to the side by himself watching everyone else. He's happy for them because they can go home feeling that their work is complete. But he is always just beginning. He's already thinking about the next move, the next risk, the next kill. I mean, again, I feel like that's going to be me. Not to blow my own trumpet here. I'm not even saying it's necessarily a good thing. But That's that type of mentality that you have to have. It may not even be the mentality of the successful. Maybe what I'm reading now is all lies, and I'm just confirming with it because I want to be confirming my biases. But, even if Relentless is not the true formula to success, I'd still stand by I'm that guy. Good, bad, or ugly. If it is good, if it is bad, I'd still say I'm that guy. I want more. I want to be doing more than anyone else. I want to be working smarter. I want to be working harder. It's simple. So the job gets done, but he's still always thinking about how he could have done more. That's the relentless pursuit of excellence. Always believing in your ability, demanding more of yourself than anyone else could ever ask of you. Winning is an addiction, and it's very high standards as well. All right, next page. This chapter is pretty small, guys, it looks like, if I'm being honest. I've only got that much left of the book. I don't think we need to go through the acknowledgements. It's one page. We don't need to go through the acknowledgements. All right. So, you can spend a lifetime craving more. You feel it in your gut, in the dull ache of the dark side, of your dark side begging for it. Okay. It's interesting. I wrote that I don't have it during training, and I would argue I don't have it during training. So when I'm training, I don't have that craving for more. I spoke about this recently with a friend of mine, which is I'm very dissociated in the moment from my actions and my results. I think I trained myself to be like that. I used to be very reactant. So if I did something bad, it would affect me for the next week. And I purposely made myself do that as well because I wanted to show that I cared. And then I also realized that that's maybe not a good way of doing it. So then I wanted to show that I didn't care. But I think then I got to such a point where I got too far to the extreme, and I truly didn't care about what I was doing because I know I can just do better next time. Or I can just, like for example, if I was to give a bad pass that I know I should give, I just wouldn't care about it because I know I'll just make the next one better. But I got to a point where that bad pass may become so common and I just wouldn't care about it that it doesn't matter for me because I know, I've got the next time to make it work. Or what if there isn't a next time because I've done it so often enough that I won't get that chance again. That's a difficult thing. And I think that's what I struggle with the most is that point where those two intersect, and it's towards an extreme side. It's not in the middle. That's why I don't believe in balance. It will never be balance, but I got to find a point where they intersect, where it's not too extreme, but to the point where it still works. And that's a difficult place to get to. Kobe only stops when he wants to, and that's only when he feels somewhat content. Okay, that's an interesting point. I mean, going off this basis that, Relentless is about never stopping and always becoming better and better and better. But there comes to a point where Kobe Bryant sleeps as well. There comes to a point where Michael Jordan sleeps. It may take a lot for them to get there. They still did it, okay? So as much as they were beasts, they also can recognize when working smarter and harder exists. Now, I could say, from what I understand, Kobe was maybe just working harder for a lot of the time, and then he got to working harder and smarter later down his career maybe, or maybe even when he started his career professionally. But it gets to a point where you can stop working hard and start working harder and smarter. That's how you do it. They don't believe you have a ceiling. They just keep going. Sorry, they don't believe they have a ceiling. They just keep going and they leave on their own terms. When they want to, not when anyone else tells them to. A few years ago, I was working with a player trying to come back after surgery, and he said to me, I just want to go get better so I can get even with everybody. That got my attention. Say that again. When I said, I just want to get even with everyone. Define even, I said. I want to get back at all those people who said I couldn't do it. You know what even means? I asked. It means you're equal to them, right? Next to them, side by side. Silence. Do you truly want to get even with everyone? Or do you really want to get ahead of them? Why stand next to anyone when you can push beyond them? Now, guys, I'm sneezing a lot. I'm sick. Got the nasal strip on, which is helping. But I'm sick. And it's not making this podcast a nice experience, let me just say. Okay. A cleaner performs for himself, and everyone else wins. Whatever he does to satisfy his goals internally transfers to them externally. When he achieves what he desires, everyone else around him benefits. He's the guy who hits the game-winning shot because he practiced that damn shot 1,000 times every single effing day. Cleaners keep themselves in line more than anyone else. Standards remain high and excel expectations. Yep. Okay, what's some other notes that I've got here? You always believe you could have done better, and you stop at nothing to prove it. It's an ideal way to live. I don't know. It's not easy, that's for sure. You hope your family and friends ultimately understand. They may not. Your whole life is essentially dictated to one goal, to the exclusion of everything else. Whether you're focused on business, sports, relationships, anything that you've committed to saying, doing this, I'll give up whatever I have to give so I can do this. I don't care what anyone thinks. And if there are consequences that affect the other parts of my life, I'll deal with them when I have to. Yeah. That's the sacrifice. Some people aren't willing to give that up. I think that I have a track record of doing so, of giving that up and sacrificing. I think a lot of people do, but it's to the extent of which some people do and some people don't, right? If you do it at a very extreme level, maybe you're just sacrificing for sacrifice's sake. You got to sacrifice the right things. You got to sacrifice the right things that you know that you can earn back. It's not an easy thing to do. Okay. It means scrutinizing every detail. Things that no one else would even notice. I don't have to watch the ball to go into the basket. I know from looking at the shot whether it's going there. Okay. Interesting one about burnout here. But when you live and work that way, it can take its toll. And one of the biggest challenges facing highly competitive people is burnout. You win that prize, you make your money, you get the glory. It can be awfully tempting to lie down and let someone else carry the load for a while. That's interesting. Tim Grover used the word burnout. Personally, if you know me, I hate the word burnout. I don't believe in it. I think that it is an excuse for laziness, an excuse for leaving stones unturned. It's an excuse. Yeah, well, actually, it is just laziness at the end of the day. It's not working smarter and harder. If you continue working hard, then eventually you'll get burnt out. Never let yourself get there. The reason why, if you're feeling burnt out, it's because you weren't doing it the right way. Let's say I was mining, and I kept on mining, and I mean literally just with a pickaxe by myself, as if I was playing Minecraft. And I kept on mining, and I got nothing from it. I got nothing from it. I kept on getting this cobblestone. I could never find that diamond, right? I just kept on going. Would there get to a point where I get burnt out? It would take a lot to get there because I'm always thinking, oh, it's only one hit away. Literally that analogy. But guess what? I was doing it in Peru where they don't find diamonds. Hypothetically in a situation, I don't know if that's true or not. But if I was doing it in Peru and turns out diamonds don't exist there, I'm going to get burnt out. But that should have never been my goal in the first place. If I truly wanted diamonds and I went to Peru, I should have done my research. I should have said, well, where are the most diamonds? Where would I have the highest chance of finding diamonds from just mining? And then I find out, oh, it's in Nicaragua. Guess what? I get my pickaxe, I fly to Nicaragua, and I mine and mine and mine. Now, I might not get there, but I know that my chances of finding the diamonds is much higher than wasting my time in Peru. And that's working smarter and harder. And guess what? I'll keep going until I find that diamond because it's inevitable. It's inevitable. It'll be somewhere. Because guess what? In Peru, diamonds don't even exist. So if I keep on going, I'll never run into it, and I'm going to be burnt out. But actually, you've come to a dead stop, basically, a full stop. Sorry, and you have no other option but to stop doing what you're doing because you're getting no return on your investment. And you may think that's burnout. I think that's being lazy, because if you were being truly dedicated to the craft or working smarter and harder, you would have done your research. Now, you could argue maybe you did false research and it got you to Peru. That sucks. Try and have systems and processes to make sure that you're on the right track. Like if I was in Nicaragua and I wasn't finding enough diamonds, then I'd probably recuperate and think, okay, let's see what I'm saying. Was my research right? Was it wrong? Do I need to go somewhere else? Am I digging at the wrong level? You know, is that y-axis, that x-axis, sorry, that I'm digging at which is a Minecraft reference. I don't even know if that's the right reference. I used to be a Minecraft nerd back in the day. But is that where you find diamonds? Am I at the wrong level? You know? That's where working smarter and harder exists. Okay. I'm convinced childhood is overrated. You can have a much better childhood as an adult. Yes, I say that all the time to my sister. And that's, firstly, talking about having fun as a kid or as a young adult, to me, is pointless. Like, if everyone else is having fun at this age, one, you should know me. I'm going to do the exact opposite, which means I'm not going to have fun. I'm going to have the most boring life so that I can have fun later. If you're having fun with no money, imagine how much fun you could have with money. So guess what? I'm also not saying I'm going to have a heap of fun after, because I don't really believe in a hedonistic lifestyle like that. But I'm going to be able to do it with much less consequence than the next guy who's doing it now. It's delayed gratification. It's not easy, but guess what? I'll do it. I'll do it. Because I know that is how it works. Okay. Another thing about burnout. Some athletes know they're done, and that's it. But when that burnout hits a guy who isn't done, it's extremely hard for him to find his way back to where he was. It's interesting, because I'm pretty certain I've heard Tim Grover talk about burnout before. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't believe in it. I think he talks about that in Winning, potentially. But I think that my explanation of burnout, to me, makes sense. Of course, it's going to make sense to me. But through rationale, I think that also, and not saying that there will be exceptions, maybe that exception of burnout exists, but I also do think that burnout is an excuse for laziness a lot of the time when you have complete control of the situation. I've given examples, I think, before how if you were working like a 9 to 5 and your boss was telling you all these things to do constantly and you had no way of actually working around it, I understand that burnout, okay? I still wouldn't call it burnout just because I hate the word, but it's just you've been put in a matrix, and I use matrix literally here, not like the matrix, I mean literally. You've been put in a system, that's maybe a better word, you've been put in a system set up for you to fail. Now, it may not fail for 99% of people, but for the 1% of people who it's not designed for, and you're in that, well, that's unfortunate. It sucks. Personally, I wouldn't want to let myself ever get to that position where I'm controlled by that system. That's me personally. Maybe you do. But I would also say the reason why I don't want to is because I'm willing to put in the work to make sure that doesn't happen. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. A cleaner feels burnt out like everyone else. Okay. That's where I think Tim Grover goes on about. And this is where I kind of come in with the feelings of burnout are real. I don't think that you can necessarily define the feelings of burnout for a round statement. I think it could be you're sad, unfulfilled, and I think that's pretty it, to be fair. So I might feel those. I probably feel them on a regular, but that doesn't stop me from doing what I do. I don't think that the burnout is a full stop. I think that it is literally a forced reaction. If I feel any of those emotions, it means that I'm not doing something right. So if I feel that, brilliant. That means that I can make sure that that doesn't happen again, and it makes me better for it. So if I feel unfulfilled, then I know that I have to change something up. If I feel sad, then I know I have to change something up. Okay? So frame burnout, or the signs of burnout, as a force for action. I've got to change something up, because I know if I keep doing this, I won't be able to sustain it. And that's not burnout. That's just knowing that I could give this effort, the same amount of effort that I'm giving to this, I could give it to somewhere else and do better in that area. That's that transition. Okay. You give me a situation, I will make it work. It's not easy to impress me. Your deep instinct telling you it can all be real. Follow those visions and dreams and desires and believe what you know. Only you can turn those dreams into reality. Never stop until you do. The greatest battles you will ever fight are with yourself, and you must always be your toughest opponent. Yep. Always demand more from yourself than others demand of you. Be honest with yourself, and you'll be able to meet every challenge with confidence and the deep belief that you are prepared for anything. And I think that I make that clear that that's where I try and believe. Life can be complicated. The truth is not. I truly believe I have zero limitations. You should believe that the same about yourself. Listen to your instincts. They're telling you the truth. I want the satisfaction of knowing that every move I make, every thought, every idea, every action takes me further than anyone else has ever gone and makes me better at what I do than anyone else in the world. That's what drives me. Whatever drives you, that take you where you want to be. Everything you want can be yours. Be a cleaner and go get it. Be relentless. Done. Next. My Whoop alarm is going off. That's annoying. Alright, guys. That's the end of the Relentless book. It's been a long series, all up. But I hope that you took some things away from it. I definitely did, as always. Every time that I read it, I get something new. That's how it should be. I really enjoyed it again. I don't disagree with the things in here necessarily. I'd say I have a different approach to some. I'd love to sit down with Tim Grover, have a debate with him one time. I don't think we'd come to many disagreements. I think that we think pretty similarly. But there's definitely some points where I'd push back on Tim. Now, again, right, he may completely agree with my pushback comments, but he doesn't have the context to actually confirm it in the book. So I'm not gonna say I don't like Tim Grover because of that. I think for a lot of the people who I associate with in terms of like affluent people who are sharing their message, I don't really like to say I don't agree with them because I don't have the full context. I don't have the ability to push back on what they're saying. I think that a lot of the time we actually agree on what we're saying. Even when I disagree with people, I think that we will come to a common ground a lot of the time. It's just how do we get there? I mean, if they're a very famous person, I don't think that I'll ever be able to get there because I'm too far out of their reach. But that's where conversations help, debates help, and I got nothing wrong with it. I got nothing wrong with disagreeing. I encourage it, and I'm not saying that I am disagreeing, but I think that just being okay with it is a good thing. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed that episode. What's next? What do we do next? Do we go through another book? You let me know. Catch you in the next episode, guys.